I think it's tough to be on the board of anything. There's a sense of responsibility that goes with being a board member. I know sometimes here people take it lightly, but I don't. I think once it is that you are a board member, there are certain things that you're obliged to attend to and to look at. As we put down the vision, we look at it, we get it approved. As it is, we have a roadmap that says how we actually going to develop along the lines of how rugby should be developed, along the lines of how Africa Rugby sees us and how what we're meant to do in terms of everything that comes from getting into rugby, accident management, injury control, training of people at different levels, as well as running leagues and then participating in global and regional competitions. It is massive. And those were my apprehensions before joining Ghana Rugby. I've been asked to join so many different boards. I generally don't get involved because you either have to do it properly or don't do it at all. And the challenge is even bigger for us in a country that is myopically football, of which the custodians of authority don't seem to understand that people play different sports and people have potential to do different things, even things they've never heard of or fully understand. So you can get into the argument about they should be supporting you because you are representing the nation nationally on sports which they've accepted at the NSA level. And you know that will get you nowhere because they don't get it. They don't have the empathy and will never get it. Or you have to organize yourself on a parallel basis as a patriot and as a Ghanaian, knowing that you're doing it for Ghana, knowing that you have to take a long-term view on it because it's not something that's played in the schools, it's not something you're going to get the support for, but recognizing that Ghanaians are such beautiful, wonderful people that somebody may not be good at football, but he may be good at rugby, or maybe good at boxing, or maybe good at hockey, or one of them, lots of other Olympic sports that are out there to do. As we've tackled the job as directors, I mean, the big issue is always ultimately is about conforming to what your governing body wants, understanding obviously the rules and laws of the land in which you're in, and then looking to see how you can put money together to run the programs. With 200 odd countries in the world, you're never going to get enough money at a certain level. And we, as a nation in Ghana, haven't developed to the point where governments have created budgets for minority sports. I think in the NDC days, they put aside 100,000 cedis a year for all minority sports, which was never paid. So that was irrelevant. And since then, we've actually had absolutely nothing, zero. And that's where we are. So we can either take the view of that we're going to wait for that, we have rights, which we do, or just understand that we need to run a parallel system to make it work. Running the board, I've been tasked very clearly with a number of things to do. And certainly in this period that we've been here, taking us along a very direct route, which has been alien to a lot of people not used to this sort of thing, has got us to becoming full members of World Rugby. Then tackling it as somebody who does understand the sports more than most people, we've now gone to the point where not only have we become full members of World Rugby, but we've entered into 1D, we've won it, we've qualified from it, and we've now got entered into the Bronze Cup. We've won that, which we have no right really winning these things. We're way ahead of schedule, and we enter the Silver Cup. We then got qualification into the Africa Sevens, which in itself is a big deal, of which, hey, first time out we got a 9th ranking. And this time we're going for something even better. We're going to try. The competition this year is much tougher. But to make these things work, we've had to conform administratively off the field, which we have done, which that has been recognized by Africa Rugby and World Rugby. And then on the field, we've had to take a very draconian approach to preparing ourselves, given the fact that we don't have the infrastructure here to run things the way that we should run it in order to be as competitive where we're going. Behind all of this as board members, we've had to raise massive amounts of money. We did it for the Silver Cup. We've done it for the 1D. everything at the end of the day, you end up as the bankroller. So what is in short, then you've got a bankroll between yourself and if there are any board members with the means and the desire to do the same. Now we're going to Tunisia. And Bronze Cup was just a few months ago. You're going back to sponsors again and you're saying to them, this is where we're at and we need more support. And it's not easy. But I'm glad to say that we have had some success and we've had to push it, and that's what the imagery and the optics is about, that sponsors want to look and see who is behind it, who are the people behind it, and how you position yourself. And we've had great success from 3 or 4 companies who have not got it in their budgets, but have turned around and have agreed to support us where necessary. And I can happily say now we will get to Tunisia. We will leave ahead of time. We do have the funds, or will have the funds for them to be there. So our schedule from today is simply this. The players have been training twice a day, up to 4 hours. We've been camping for 3-4 months. So we're feeding them, we're taking care of medical bills, Medicare and medical bills with the extraordinary Dr. Durban, and preparing them right the way through. We brought in Stuart Amar, extraordinary fitness strength building coach from London Scottish Richmond in the UK, and introduced a completely different set of training measures, which has reduced injuries massively using isokinetics and other related technologies and means to change the way in which we train, we rest, we sleep, and we actually live, which has been great. He's come back for a second time now for 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks. And he came along with Colin Osborne, who was at the Bronze Cup as a visitor. And Colin has been directly involved now, ex-head skills coach of Harlequins in the UK. Extraordinary rugby man. And we've been lucky enough to have them here for the period. They came down for 3 weeks or 4. They stayed at the Golden Tulip Hotel, and Golden Tulip have been a sponsor of Ghana Rugby, and we have to thank them for what it is they've done. Truly extraordinary in terms of picking up costs and allowing us to be global in our approach in preparing the team. And then we've come on to the other areas, of which we have massive areas of expenditure. But we've had Golden Tulip, we have Interplus and Haitham Fakri, extraordinary man, who has stepped in. We have the Sunda Group, who have also joined in to support us. And then our contract with Pan-African ran out, and I'm just glad, barely 48 hours ago, with lots of pushing and prompting, great work from Rihan and Tim on their side, a wonderful, wonderful gentleman who I think has gone back to New Zealand, so our phone calls were from here to New Zealand. And I don't think anybody was ready to get involved now. We're all ready for the Silver Cup next year, but to get involved now. But they've turned around and they've renewed a huge contract with Ghana Rugby, huge for us anyway, with Ghana Rugby. And that is being signed off, or will be signed off very, very shortly. We've pushed Conservaria very hard as well, who do the Geno products, and I believe they'll come to the party as well. So look, we've got the kit, we've got the boots, we've got all things, muff guards, everything that we require. And as I said, this weekend we have Dr. Ross Potita, great friend of mine who I respect greatly, a great sports doctor and chiropractor, who I use throughout my Kotoko days for big matches coming into town. We'll fly in on Friday, and he will look at the more serious injuries we got. We got people with groins, with ankle, with back injuries, and he will come in with a whole set of kit of medicines to take care of those. Also, he's very big on diet and immune boosting cocktails. Very legal. We don't do anything funny. And we'll have a look at all of the players in that regard, even those who are not going, those who've been part of this training regimen. We've got a number of people like Hunan have got injuries. Hakeem has a shoulder injury, and then a lot of the players are carrying groin and ankle and back injury. So we're going to take care of that. We fly him in on SAA on Friday. He leaves again on Sunday. All of this is about preparing Ghana Rugby and the costs that are involved. So many, many more things will happen. The boys then go off to Tunisia. We'll pick the team by next week. I'm very closely involved with that, speaking to all the technical people and the coaches. And then they head back off to Tunisia. I say good luck to them. All we ask is that people give their best. And that's what we've been getting more and more and more. We're changing the mentality from a football mentality into a rugby mentality, which is completely different. And they're going to go there, play for Mother Ghana and play their best. Playing with people they know who are 30, 40, 50 ranks above them in terms of rugby. But we're going to go there with a heart and a self-belief. And we're going to see what we can do. And we come back after that and prepare for the Silver Cup. Underdogs maybe, but in sports, anything can happen. Anything, as you know.